Hi guys and girls, I'm Obsidian Ant, and this is Elite Dangerous. I did eventually make it back to civilized space, and as those of you who watched my previous episode will be aware, I spent quite some time in fairly deep space out in the Bernard's Loop region, having a look at the nebula there, such as the Running Man Nebula and the Witch Head Nebula. Eventually I decided to turn around and thought it was time to head back home, but before I did that I wanted to have a look at the Running Man Nebula, as you can see here, and this wasn't available on my way into Bernard's Loop. It was added in Gamma 2, so I thought it worthwhile of a quick stop. I found it to be a very pretty space, if somewhat small in area. There wasn't a whole lot of stars actually inside the nebula, so it was very difficult to fly around in there from point to point. But the areas I could get to were very worthwhile seeing, and I thought I'd show you a little bit of footage here before finally getting on with the long journey home. The Running Man Nebula wasn't the only addition added during Gamma 2. They also added an updated Witch Head Nebula, which you can see here. I just had a quick look at on the map as I was navigating my way there. And again, this was a very pretty nebula, but it was also very small, and there was very few stars actually contained inside the nebula, which meant I couldn't actually fly right inside it or jump from point to point within the nebula as I did around Bernard's Loop and the Witch Head Nebula in the previous episode. But it's still a worthwhile destination if you fancy coming out to have a look at the Witch Head Nebula, and it also brought me around about 300 light years closer to home. Now, the journey home was something I was a little bit unsure how to approach. Did I really want to travel 1500 odd light years back to Sol and Erin and all those core systems? So I took to the map and had a look at what would be the best choice. I'll hand you back to previous me, who's got all the information on what happened there. 911 light years. Well, that's quite a way. It's still a bit better than where I was. The Witch Head Nebula has brought me quite a bit closer, but there I am over there. What I'm going to look for is the system most closest to me. I've gone down a bit too low. Oh no, there's a red one there. Red is Empire space, so this may well be a good opportunity to start playing in Empire. I spent a lot of time in Federation during the previous builds of the game, so why not head there? Aditi, 642 light years, so that's 300 light years closer. Certainly worth thinking about heading in that direction. Yeah, I think that's where I'll go. And unless of course there is somewhere closer. Let's have a quick look. Oh, there's one there. Oh, that's further back. 680 light years. It's quite deceptive on the galactic map. The 3D plane can sometimes give a little bit misleading to your perception and sense of distance. So it really does look like Aditi may be the closest system I'm going to find out here. Yeah, nothing there at all. So Aditi. Let's have a look. What's in that system? Well, it's a white star with a number of gas giants and 2 stations. Quite large stations. Coriolis and Orbis by the looks of it. So I think that's got to be the destination, isn't it? The new route navigation system is going to be very handy here. The way I normally use this is to aim toward my target destination and then move back along the galactic map until I reach the outermost point of my navigation markers. Then I plot a course to there and keep repeating that process till I end up at my eventual destination. So cold 70 sector, that's close enough, 100 light years. Right, off we go. Let's head back to civilized space. It's been a long while since I've been there. I'm very interested to know what awaits me on the universal cartographic screen. I've done a lot of scanning out here, so there should be a good number of system data to sell. And I think I'll save you all the tediousness of that rather long journey, so let's get straight to Aditi. And here we are. It took quite a while, though probably rather less for you guys, because I've no doubt gone ahead and edited that for you. I'm going to scoop a little bit of fuel just to save on costs when I finally dock. Now, it's been a long time since I've actually been inside a station, probably close to 2 weeks I think. Not quite long enough to get rusty at the docking process, but we could possibly be in for one of my famed rough landings. Let's hope it's not too rough. This is also going to be the first time I dock in an Empire station, something I've not done yet. As far as I understand, they both look completely the same inside as Federation stations and the independent stations. I still haven't had to look at Alliance-based stations yet. Something for the future. There we go, a Coriolis station. My first sign of civilization for weeks. Also quite interested to see the state of my ship. I'd imagine it's been through the wars a little bit. The hull's not too banged up, but the wear and tear is probably very low. I'd imagine fully on 100% or 0%, whichever way you look at it. Fully worn either way. Be a laugh if they wouldn't let me in, wouldn't it? I did see a system on a forums a while ago that someone posted. I forget the name of the system now, but basically it was a plague system and all ships were barred from going there, but if you did get there you would be declared a plague ship and barred docking from any station in civilization, and basically they would then shoot you on sight. I don't know if that's just lore or if that would actually manifest into gameplay. If it does manifest into gameplay, that'd be pretty interesting indeed. I'll try and remember to put the system name to that particular system into the description below. Now I'm going to try and come in for a gentle landing here. It would make a little bit of a change, but my first landing in a few weeks, I'd like it to be a good one. I certainly don't want to trash my ship this close to home. I really want to see what's in the universal cartographic screen before anything else. There's going to be a lot of data there after all those scans. Gently does it, yes. A nice gentle landing. Makes a bit of a change for me. Right then, Starport Services it is. And Universal Cartographics. I think. That repair bill's a lot smaller than I was expecting. I'm actually a little curious who else has visited around here. A Cobra Mark III. Well, it looks like I'm the only ship out this way in the last 24 hours. Let's have a look at the Universal Cartographics. I'm sure you're almost as keen as I am to see what's going to be there. That's if it works. I don't want to stand by too long. Come on. Come on. I know you can do it. Come on. Still waiting. Well, if I've got a lot of data to sell and it's like this after each one, I'm going to be waiting a long time, aren't I? Still waiting. This isn't looking too good, is it? I would have thought they might have done a little bit better with the servers by now. Release is just around the corner, so here we are at last. 0 credits. I wonder what that's about. And 20 systems per page. I wonder how many we've got in total then. Nothing of tremendous value there. 10,000 credits for the Hades sector. That's 20. This is 40 then. They all seem to be around about the same value though. 200 credits. 60. Still 200 credits. 80 systems. 100 systems. Oh, a little bit disappointed with the value here, but it all adds up, I guess. That's 120. There's a few high valued ones there. It's 140. 160. 180. There's 6,000 credits worth there, that's good. 200 Rs, a few high valued ones here, that's good to see. And that's it, so around 220 systems. Not too bad going, all in all. I'll sell all that data a bit later on, as with the way the server's going, it's probably going to take quite a bit of time to actually do that. Let's get into outfitting and have a look at that and see what my ship looks like. I'm fairly sure it's going to be pretty worn down once we get in there. Come on, you decrepit old station. I want to see my ship. And yeah, fairly worn down. To be totally expected, really, after the journey I've been on. You've done me proud, my old Cobra. Actually makes me wish I could name the ship. You know, you get attached to your ship, especially after being on certain adventures with it. Money's looking a little bit low, so what next? After a little bit of backward and forward, I decided to eventually go for doing some mining. And you can see here that I've gone ahead and having a look at some prospecting. So really there's two types of prospecting. There's the prospecting actually inside the asteroid belts themselves, and there's the prospecting or searching on the system maps. And what I'm looking for here is the esteemed pristine reserve belts with metallic content. They can be quite rare to find, but hopefully out here on the edge of civilized space they're a bit easier to find. Pristine reserves straight away with metal rich. Oh look, pristine reserve metallic with stations right nearby. Now you really can't ask for more than that. That should allow me to get some good ore and hopefully not have to carry it very far to the stations in order to sell it. My goal still is to buy an advanced discovery scanner with a decent enough ship that can do over 20 light years in range. That's the ideal exploration ship to me. I can probably do it in a Cobra. Eventually I'd like to do it in an Asp. But exploration really is my thing, and I want to head out into the galaxy as far as I'm able to do that. So a good fuel scoop, advanced discovery scanner along with the detailed discovery scanner, and as I said, the long range FSD is perfect. So this ore belt really has paid off. That was nearly a 72% chunk of platinum there, and another 55% here. I'm getting well over 1 ton of platinum for every 2 chunks of ore I take. So that's a whole ton of money just from this one rock. Pretty pleased with that. Hopefully it won't take too long to build up a little bit of money. Now, I don't want to mine my entire way up to all that equipment I was just talking about. I'd like to do some combat as well. So what I'll probably do is use the money I'm making here to build a reasonably decent spec combat ship and head out to a resource extraction site which is right nearby and do a little bit of shooting, see if I can make some bounties. So whilst mining can be quite profitable, it does take a little bit of time and it's relaxing but not entirely interesting. But I've got quite a good haul here. I'm estimating around about 250,000 credits. Certainly enough to upgrade my ship for combat, I would have thought. It's very handy having this station right nearby to the mining area. It's usually quite a few hundred light seconds between one area and the station, but This is a lot better. So let's see, what did I get? 3 tons of gold. Okay, it's the platinum I really want to sell, because I found a whole load of that out there. Those chunks were impressive indeed. 186,000 credits worth of platinum. Nice. I'm closing in on nearly 1 million credits now, but every time I do get close, I seem to find another module for my ship. But that's fine, that's what it's all for. Have we got any more here? That's it. Well, a pretty good haul. So I did eventually get round to some outfitting. I was quite reluctant to let go of the mining laser because it was a class 2 mining laser and there weren't many of them available out this way. But ultimately I did sell that and I got a multi-cannon. That's not showing here in this clip. I actually did that while I was using the Oculus Rift, and unfortunately I don't record much footage on the Oculus Rift as it don't fit in with the theme of these episodes, and I'd be jumping back and forward a lot between the type of footage I'm showing. But there's a few other upgrades I did take as well. Improved thrusters, which are always good for those targets that like to try and get away, especially those that flee into super cruise. A power plant is a must-have. It pretty much allows you to fire your weapons on constant without them keep draining. C-rated one's not too bad. A is the ultimate aim, of course. I keep jumping back and forward whether or not to upgrade my hull. I think they're really expensive and they drop the jump range a bit too much for my liking. And to be honest, I haven't really found a use for them yet anyway. The shields seem to be more than enough, especially when you've got a shield cell bank. But an improved shield generator's always nice as well, if the area actually sells them. But anyway, you can see where my money keeps disappearing to. The ship is slowly improving. So I've upgraded most aspects of the ship. Eventually I will sell that mining laser and I will sell the refinery. And I'll probably sell at least one of the cargo racks. But for now I'm outfitting a reasonably spec'd combat ship. I'll show you some of the combat footage now. Now, I don't pretend to be exceptional at combat, but I think I can handle my own, and Frontier seem to have been taking some steps lately to make the game somewhat easier in terms of combat, indeed pretty much in terms of everything. So anyway, there's an anaconda. Do I take the chance in shooting it? Why not? Why not? Let's see how long my ship can hold out against one. I think it's always been pretty much possible to take out an anaconda, but you're always really asking for a fight if you do take one on in a ship that's not exceptionally spec'd. There's even shooting at me there. There's two bothered with the security forces, I think. Now do keep in mind I've only got G-rated lasers on this ship, 2 class 2 G-rated and a single class 1 G-rated one. I've also got a multi-cannon, but I use that to finish the ships off with. Alright, he's actually using some chaff now, which is scrambling my gimbals. But he's still not attacking. Oh, here we go, he's attacking me now. Spoke too soon. Well, he was for a second anyway. He seems to be more worried about the security forces. But to be honest, Mr. Anaconda, I'm probably the biggest threat here to you at the moment. Those security forces are barely scratching you, even though they are distracting you. That said, his shields didn't stay up particularly long, did they? And anacondas usually have pretty tough shields, at least they used to have tough shields. It's been quite a long time since I attacked one. Actually, it's been a very long time since I attacked one. I think it was probably Premium Beta the last time I tried this. Another 10% of his hull gone. This is ranking dangerous. Well, I would have expected a dangerous ranked Anaconda to be a lot more dangerous than this. I'm not even sure if he's managed to take out any of the security forces yet. Let's keep going. 68%. I've got half a ring of my shields down, so he's barely bothering with me at the moment. I'm sure that could change any minute. Now you can see here where the power plant and the power distributor actually pay off, because they now allow me to fire these lasers almost constantly, and even when my weapon charge is almost fully drained, they do still keep firing, although albeit slowly. Now when I release the fire trigger, look how fast my weapon energy tab charges. Fully charged, literally in a matter of seconds. I haven't even got any pips in my systems at the moment, and that's why my shield isn't recharging again. But this guy is literally not worth the bother. I'm going to start firing my multi-cannon now anyway to get his hull down that bit faster. 38% on his hull and counting. Now this fight certainly is protracted, I fully admit that, but it certainly isn't a challenge. Now that could be because he's so fully occupied with the security forces that is not bothering me. It may well be a completely different story. One-on-one, me versus him. But in either regard, it's probably going to be quite a challenge in itself to find an Anaconda where I can attack it alone without interference from other ships. But let's keep going. We're nearly there. 33%. Oh, here we go. He's shooting me, and yes, my shields are draining a little bit, but I use a little bit of chaff maybe. But I've got no power to the chaff, and I'm going to leave it that way, so no, I won't use any chaff. But yeah, his weapons are quite powerful, but I do still have chaff, and I do still have a shield cell bank that I haven't actually had to use yet. So chances are they would counteract the power of his weapons. 22%. We're nearly there. Oh, boom. Well, someone hit him pretty hard there. 93,000 for one ship. Okay, I don't mind that. Yeah, 93,000 credits. Pretty good going. Still a fairly entertaining fight, but I would like it to be a little bit more challenging. I think the sidewinders could be a bit more of a challenge, but then again, that's usually just me versus a sidewinder, so let's try this Cobra. Now the resource extraction sites out this way are fairly intense, and they have a lot of combat going on in them. And the trick to finding these is to look for a resource extraction site that is a long way from a station. The extraction sites that are near the station tend to have too much security and a lot less pirate activity. This extraction site was just over 3,500 light seconds from the nearest station. Now, as you can see, that's the second Anaconda here, as well as a Cobra as well. And to be perfectly honest about it, I'm not really sure what I think about these changes. It does seem to me that combat's got very, very, very easy. Although I'm yet to try combat in an anarchy zone, so things may be different there. But this is the third Anaconda, and although my shields have nearly gone, I haven't used a shield cell bank yet to get them back up. And I haven't even taken 1% hull damage yet. The only reason I had to flee the combat area was because I accidentally clipped an authority vessel with my fire, and I'm therefore wanted. And the simple solution to that is just to head back to an independent station and pay the fine off. But had that not happened, I would have stayed out here and continued to fight. But in either event, all that combat was impressive. It's fantastic seeing all those ships flying around shooting at each other, and being in the middle of it is just fantastic. So from the first bullet fired to the last bullet fired by me, it was literally only 14 minutes in that resource extraction site. And how much did I make in that time? Well, it was way more than I could have made mining or hauling. And once I've selected the station here, I'll show you. No less than 305,000 credits for 14 minutes of combat. So yeah, that brings me that bit closer to the advanced discovery scanner. Anyway, that's it for today. As always, thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys and girls next time. This has been Obsidian Ant, signing off.